Hi everybody, this is a game between somebody called Alexander Hoffman and another Alexander, Petrov, from 1844. Petrov, who's playing black, was one of the top Russian players in the 1800s, very much a pioneer of Russian chess, and this game is an absolute classic. We're just going to go straight in and show the moves. Okay, so opened e4, e5, knight out to attack the pawn, knight out to defend the pawn, bishop c4, bishop c5. So this is the Italian game to start with. c3, strengthening a d4 square, knight f6, and then d4. Pawn takes, and then we get this frost d5, kicking the knight about early on. Now black, Petrov, plays his knight into e4, and then we get the interesting move bishop d5. Now if you look, the bishop's attacking the knight here, and he's got nowhere to go. He's got no safe squares, but that's not a problem, because this variation we see knight takes f2, forking the queen and the rook, so the king has to take. And then the pawn takes on c3, discovering check of the bishop. Now at this point, black has got 3 pawns for his knight, which is generally seen as roughly equal. But we also see that white has lost his rights to castle, and his king's been forced out into the open. So we can say that black's got decent compensation for his knight. Now here, white plays a king to g3. Probably more normal. Most people's natural reaction would be drop the king back to the safety of the first rank. But if we have a look at why white has played his king to g3, if the king goes to f1, he's trapping in a rook here. By going to g3, this rook can come to the e1 square or the half open f file, where it's going to be much more active. So he's allowing a rook space to get into the game. And also, if we look at the main danger, what we would normally consider the main danger, the queen can't get over to this side of the board at the moment. f6, g5, h4, these are all off limits. So there's a certain amount of safety with this king being placed here. Even this bishop can't get in for any nasty checks at the moment. His pawns here, and so Hoffman has decided that his king's relatively safe there. So king g3, we get c takes b2, bishop takes. So again, we've got knight for 3 pawns. The king is out in the open, but can black get to it? And white's got 2 excellent bishops gunning down these long diagonals. His queen can get into the game. This knight, that's not going to take long to get to active squares, and a rook also can get into the game. So black continued, knight to e7, challenging this excellent bishop. And then we see a somewhat surprising move at first glance, knight to g5. Now notice the knight's attacking f7, and obviously if white had another move, he'd play knight takes f7, winning the queen. He's also threatening to fork the rook, but this knight is undefended, and it can be attacked by a queen if his knight was to move. So that's what happens. Knight takes d5, and then we see the idea behind white's last move, knight takes f7. Now, okay, so we're attacking the queen, we're attacking the rook. If the king takes the knight, then the queen comes in, captures the knight with check, and forks it, and then picks up the bishop on the next move because his bishop's undefended. So it's quite a good tactic, and the question is, what should black play now? Now this is quite a difficult position. It's not obvious by any means. So if you pause the video and really try and soak up everything about this position, try and understand all the opportunities and threats for both sides and see if you can come up with the move that Petrov played. So take as long as you need, and when you're ready, if you unpause and come back to the video. Okay, right, we're going to show the move now in a few seconds. So 3, 2, 1. Petrov played. Sorry, let's get back to position. Petrov castled kingside. Now, if you found this move, quit your day job and become a chess professional, because you have superb tactical talent. Absolutely unbelievable move. His queen's under attack, his rook's under attack. Most logical move seems to be king takes knight, and he castles. Now the castle and sacrifice the queen, your queen at the same time. That's a seriously gutsy move. Now this puts white in all sorts of problems, because what's he going to do? His bluff's been called. He's pretty much got to take the queen, otherwise he's going to be lose material, and that's what he played. Knight takes the queen, and then we see what Petrov saw. The magic. This is incredibly now a forced checkmate. Bishop to f2 check. Now notice the king position. There's no going back for him now. That bishop's cut him off nicely, and this rook also makes sure that he can only stay on the G and the H files. But has black got enough material? Well, I think we've already answered that one. He does. But let's see how it plays out. King to h3. d6, discovering a check from this bishop. Really nice and really subtle way of bringing another piece into play. e6, blocking the path of that pawn. That is the strongest move. If he was to play g4, or even put the queen in a way, because notice that the king itself can't move, he has to put something in a way. Say put the queen in a way, there's no even need to recapture the queen. Knight f4 would be checkmate. So e6 is played. Knight f4 check. He's only got one move. King to g4. Knight takes e6, taking that pawn and threatening to discover a check again. Now knight takes knight here actually leads to white getting checkmated quicker. Instead he plays g3, which is to hide this h4 square from this bishop, and also he's got dreams of somehow escaping to g2 in the future, but that's not going to happen. Knight to d4 check, so discovering the check from the bishop again. Knight to e6, bishop takes e6 check. King to h4, knight to f5 check. King to h3. Notice if he goes up here, these pawns come into play with check as well. So king to h3, knight to e3 check, attacking the queen, but the real purpose of this move is to take away g2 as an escape square. King to g4. Now h3 is cut off by the bishop, so instead of taking the queen, Petrov continues with knight g2 check. King to h5. Now the pawn comes into play. g6 check. King to g5, and it wouldn't matter if he went to h6 either. King to g5, bishop to e3 checkmate. An absolutely incredible game. When I first saw the move where Petrov castled, which was on move 12, sacrificing his queen, I thought it was a mistake. Nearly fell off my chair. Absolutely incredible vision and imagination from Petrov. A true chess brilliancy. So there you are. I hope you enjoyed the game, and if you did, feel free to leave a comment and subscribe to our channel, and we'll bring you more chess brilliancies in the future. Thank you.